Good evening, everyone. This is Mayor Andrew LaBruno sending you a video message. I apologize sending you this video message from home. I was trying to get it done at Borough Hall, but it got late and I wanted to put my children to sleep. I promise to share information as I receive it, so here's some information that I have for you this evening. Unfortunately, I have to report that today Dumont has received information that we have our second confirmed presumptive positive case of COVID-19. My thoughts and prayers are with both residents, and I wish them a full and speedy recovery. As this public health crisis progresses, these presumptive positive reports may become more generalized by region, but I will do my very best to keep our community informed and do all we can locally to prevent the transmission of COVID-19. Some more very unfortunate news. Late yesterday evening, I received a call from Police Chief Michael Connor informing me he was contacted by an area hospital providing us information that a presumptive positive case of COVID-19 had come in contact with our emergency responders. I have been in constant communication with our police chief, OEM coordinator, and DVAC leadership, and would like to make the following statement my administration coordinated with them. This month, officers from the Dumont Police Department and members of the Dumont Ambulance Corps responded to a medical call in Dumont. The patient was transported to an area hospital for a non-COVID-19 related medical call. Yesterday, 3/16/2020, one of our local hospitals contacted the Dumont Police Department to report that a patient we provided medical services to had tested positive for COVID-19. All first responders who were involved in this call have been relieved of their medical and police-related duties, are asymptomatic, and are seeking appropriate medical care for this possible exposure. It is important to know that all of the potentially affected emergency service personnel are not providing services to the community and will remain out of work until such time as self-quarantine period has expired, or they have a confirmed negative COVID-19 test result. It is important to note that a contact of a contact will not necessarily affect an individual. Please note, this has not affected the continuity of care or first response services, and we are still operating 24/7. Being a first responder myself, I am concerned and disheartened to receive this information. This pandemic has affected our community and our workforce and has really taken a toll on our emergency services. I like to speak now, not just as your mayor, but as a father and a first responder, because our first responders are husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. And while we know and accept the risks of our job, we have to remember that their safety, health, and lives matter just like everyone else's. Unfortunately, there has been no guidelines provided by the federal government to address the needs of our first responders during this crisis. And while I understand the entire system is overwhelmed and appreciate all the efforts of our partners in state government, we need proper guidelines and a plan to protect and help limit the transmission of this virus within our first responder community. It is our duty to protect our communities, and we must have contingency plans if there is a mass exposure in any police, fire, or ambulance corps. I understand this effort is being worked on, but we have to move faster. We are in uncharted territories. It's time to throw out the playbook because there is no playbook on this. Planning for the effect this virus would have on our first responders must be a top priority, because if a large portion of our emergency service personnel is affected, who will answer the 911 call? Who will be there when there is an emergency? This pandemic has the ability to decimate the manpower of any police, fire, and ambulance corps. The effect of this virus on our first responders doesn't only impact them, but it affects every single one of our 18,000 residents. As the COVID-19 pandemic hit Bergen County, we were fast to act to do everything we can to protect our residents, workforce, and first responders. Along with the formation of our COVID-19 task force and the protective measures we instituted last week, we also saw our first responders take quick action to modify operating procedures in an attempt to minimize personal contact between emergency responders and the general public, thus minimizing the potential spread of COVID-19. We also wanted to put this emergency response message out into the community and you'll find this guidance on our borough website at dumontnj.gov and on our social media pages. I urge my fellow mayors in our area to begin taking necessary steps to protect our first responders outside of the normal operating procedure, because if this virus gets out of hand, we will need to support and aid each other during these extreme and trying times. I do not share this information to create panic, but to ensure we are prepared and our community is informed. Now more than ever, we need to stay calm, stay positive, and work together to get through this. We ask that all businesses and residents follow the Borough of Dumont Executive Order No. 1, which can be found on our website at dumont.gov. Once again, I thank you for tuning in and listening to these video messages. I hope this information is received well. Some of this information is difficult, but like I said, we will try to share as much as possible and as much as received. So I thank you and have a good evening. God bless.